standpoint, but I think you have some additional stuff to tell us about. Go ahead. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Yep.
Do I need to know anything about this?
No, just press the
This
button.
one? Great. Got it. One arrow. I can do that. Yeah, affordable housing. All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Ian Hunter. I'm an architect and an interior designer with TVS Design, located here in Atlanta. We have done such hits as the inside of Mercedes-Benz Stadium, the Home Depot backyard, and amazingly, we also do affordable housing. It's a different product type. Who knew? We do everything under the sun: healthcare, multifamily, mixed use, corporate office, workplace, convention center, etc. So if you have the money, we will do it for you, and we're experts. And I started building this idea about affordable housing with our team because has anybody heard more rumblings about making things more affordable? We have so many clients that never touched affordable projects, were not interested, wouldn't ever hear those words come out of their mouths until the last couple of years. And now everybody's like, boy, let's just do multifamily, but make it affordable. Let's do that. We'll have so much business. Great. So we're going to talk about that. This is about TVS. I already told you about us. We're going to hit three major things. And once we made this presentation, what we realized is that these are not just things to make great affordable housing. We believe they are prerequisites for affordable housing, but this is just good design. So you should be doing this in all of your projects, and I'm going to tell you how. So we're going to talk about community, critical for making a successful affordable housing experience, lowering operating costs because we have made stuff so cheap building it, we need to find smarter ways to cut the bottom line, and design, because that's what I do. So let's talk about community. This is a mixed income affordable housing project that we are working on in Florida at an undisclosed location. Let's call it near Mickey Mouse Land. What we're going to talk about here are three sub-points about how do you establish community in your multifamily projects. All right. The first thing that is absolutely critical, and we're going to look at it from a macrocosmic standpoint here, is mixed income developments. So one of the biggest failures that I'm sure we have all seen from low income housing is that it's just low income housing and it's plopped somewhere, right? It's not connected to anything, there's no diversity, there's no integration. That's problematic. It's very hard to make it successful. So you need it to be mixed income. But how do you do that? So from a master planning perspective, in this development, what we started to think about was two strategies. One is density, and the second is building height and building type. So this diagram on the left, which is obviously this master plan on the right, what we've done here is we've looked at the traffic entrances. There's a transit station right here, and there's a main entrance up there. We wanted to put our high density, smallest units, including micro units, near those areas because we imagine intentionally that this is where people who may not own a car are going to be located, so we want to make it accessible and easy and provide that service, while we then start to reduce density as we move towards this lake, and we produce lower density townhomes, different multifamily styles, high-end condo units on this upper northeast corner, and that diversity of both density, housing type inside. Specifically, this building features 1/3 micro units under 450 square foot units, so very small, very affordable, and located next to transit station. Two strategies. Make community. The second in this mixed income community is how do you tie it together? It's not good enough to just put micro units and then across the street high-end condo, and then across the street townhouse, and think it's all going to work together. It's not. And two strategies that we have to be able to integrate these communities is to first create a reason why people are going to move around, and in the master planning process, we are promoting shared amenities in all of these developments. So some buildings that may be more high-end may have a private pool, they may have a rooftop deck that is only accessible to that building, but we're encouraging the development of shared amenities throughout the building, so throughout all of the buildings. So when you move into this property, You then have amenities highlighted in this pink color throughout the entire site, connected with outdoor space. Gives you an easy, pedestrian-friendly way to move through the site, and those amenities are shared. It doesn't matter if you're in a 400 square foot affordable unit, or if you're a penthouse unit on the condo building overlooking the lake. Those pink areas that are, we considered follies, those begin to give people a reason to move through the site and establish community. The third one is connecting residents with community services. Mixed use is the newest hot thing, as of like 10 years ago, so new and so hot. There's a reason for it. We want to be able to provide F&B and retail and spread it through the site in both vehicularly accessed and pedestrian accessed modes. So you'll see here, we didn't actually align retail along the pedestrian path, although it touches on it. We did keep it on a parallel parked vehicular route so that people from outside of the site can come in, and it's very inviting and friendly for them to engage in the retail spaces. Pretty picture. Okay, this is a very important one. We have been implementing this with clients for years now. We've had clients come to us and say, we want to make affordable housing, we want to build cheaper than other affordable housing builders. Impossible, right? It's impossible. Have you seen how cheap some of this crap is? It's so cheap. So where do we think about reducing, or where do we think about making more money? Right? So I'm just going to touch on this one real quick. We are investigating the use of low maintenance, super durable materials. This started with multifamily projects that we do in Florida, where there is a lot of concrete block that we then put furring channels over, that we then put gyp on top, that we then paint over. That's 3 trades right there, pretty expensive. Skip all of it. CMU block looks great if you do it right. And it really can be something, if you have a quality design mind behind your project, you can make these durable background materials become something really special. Eye candy. All right, here's the pie chart. So fun. So we started looking at where all of our operators' expenses go. Where does the money go after you bring it in through rent? Taxes, can't help you there, not my business. And then let's look at the 2 biggest next pieces of the pie chart. Salaries and operations and maintenance. Interesting. That is a gigantic amount of revenue that is gone from your business. So what we have started to do is integrate technology and reduce the number of personnel that need to be on site, specifically by having shared maintenance programs across communities, like you just saw in the master plan that we had seen before, but by also reducing the number of leasing agents and personnel that need to be on site, because almost everything can be automated at this moment, and there is a disconnect between the number of personnel on site and the technological services that are being provided to provide maintenance, bring in packages, do lease walks and tours, or answer questions. A lot of this can be done very simply with 1 and a maximum of 2 people on a site. That's immediately starting to cut down your salaries and personnel budget. But secondly, tying into the low-cost materials, repair and maintenance is a huge cost, especially at unit turnover. And if you use highly durable materials that don't require the same level of maintenance as, say, gyp is a very easy one, or carpet, which heaven forbid anybody ever use that again. We've learned our lesson. But those are the low-hanging fruit areas. And we had proposed to one of our clients, like, we're actually going to make a personnel-less, salary-free property. No one will work there, not even from the beginning of lease-up. It will be completely automated. 27%, that's all yours. And they were like, whoa, 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 we don't even need that much money back. We'll throw 1 person in there. And I was like, well, fine, we can do that. But I really do believe we can just cut this out of the puzzle altogether. And especially with younger and younger demographics coming in, renting in the multifamily realm, they don't even want to talk to people. I don't want to talk to people. I don't want to talk to a leasing agent, uninterested. I don't want to take an hour-long tour of your property. I just want to show up with my phone. It tells me where to go. It lets me in everywhere, and then I can make a decision at the end of the day after I've looked at 10 properties that all kind of look the same and rent your spot. And then, hold on. Okay, yeah, we're gonna fly through these. Because you've heard this, right? Sustainable buildings, how are we going to, this is the third for operating and maintenance costs. We want to be less systems intensive and more envelope intensive. There has been a lot of push to use technology to save energy, but technology is expensive. And when you think of LEED buildings or green buildings, you just hear money, especially if you're going to sell your property. And so that's not something that we tend to push, especially in the multifamily realm, because of the budgets that we have from a design perspective. But you can be smart and shift the money you spend on your mechanical and electrical systems to the building envelope and actually make your architecture better. And so this is an example of what happens when we start to reduce the number of actual systems, the number of mechanical units, the number of stations that go into your building. That is big, those are big money items in your project. We have an engineering partner that is very focused in sustainability, and they've helped us successfully and very frequently from the beginning with no additional cost on a project, be able to implement solar strategies or advanced envelope strategies that actually play on standard building practices, but we use research and analysis in a smart way to reduce the number of physical systems that go into your building so you can spend it on the sexy stuff. Design, oh, that is a good looking building. Who did that? We did. And so outdoor space, we're going to talk about design, what is going to make a community successful, especially an affordable housing community. Outdoor space is huge. I know Melissa had spoken about that. I think everybody is thinking about people using outdoor space more and more, but it's critical to be able to build community. It's also inexpensive. Building outdoor space is cheaper than building conditioned indoor space, and people want it. People want things that cost less. Let's give it to them. Do not underutilize outdoor space. Efficiency. This is something, I feel sometimes like this is my only job, is to just make the most efficient building possible because no one wants to waste space. There's a smarter way to go about it that we don't see a lot in the industry right now, and we call it optioneering. We're super smart, all of us designers, we're all smart. We can do a yield study for you, we can make efficient plans, but let's say it takes me or a team member 2 hours, 3 hours to lay out a typical floor plan for a building based on a site plan that you have given us. I can't make you 100 options, I can make you 2 or 3. That's what computers are for. So we have a program that we use on all of our multifamily and hospitality projects that use an algorithm based on the perimeter of the site. We then plug in our actual unit plans based on the square footage and the unit mix, and then we find basically an unlimited number of options. This is just an example, and this is just like dumb garbage the computer spits out. You would never want to build any of this thing that's flashing up on your screen, but it looks fun. And what we do then is we have a plate of 100 options. We can narrow down the ones that are anywhere between 85 and 90% efficient as realistic options for development. And then we can, in a smart way, with our design minds, look at the possible solution, then do a real yield study on it, do a real floor plan on it that is smart, and we can do it so much faster and potentially uncover solutions that we just never would have had time to do before computers could spit out hundreds and hundreds of different options for us to review in minutes. Facade design, huge with affordable housing. One of the biggest failures with affordable housing, and candidly all housing these days, is ugly buildings. So one of the dead giveaways for affordable housing is the building's ugly. It's just hardy plank, white windows and a pitched roof. That's all it is. And people hate that. It does not make the community want to play nice with you. It makes your meetings really challenging. It doesn't give people a sense of pride in the place that they want to live. So we want to make fun facades, but we don't want to spend money doing it. How do we do it? One of the biggest things is simplification, but staying true to your core concept design. On the left, high-end condo in Puerto Rico we did, not cheap. But super cool, we had done this facade that zigzags so that every unit, which gets stacked diagonally, gets both views of the pool, views of the ocean, and from anywhere you stand on these balconies, you cannot see, no one can see you from another unit in the building. It's impossible. So we drew all these sight lines. Super complex, lots of slab turns, lots of exterior facade turns. This is kind of a blurry sketch that I did. And this is for the building that you had seen on the glamour shot 2 slides ago. We wanted to accomplish the same thing for this project in Denver, where you can see the city, see the mountains, get 2 views, have full privacy on your patio. That's here if you can't see it, sorry, it's super blurry. And they're all stacked in a straight line, because we need to be efficient. And it works. And the reason it's cost effective is twofold. First, the slab is straight. There are no turns in the slab of this building. It is completely flat, straight, rectangular slab. Saves a ton of money in formwork. And the second is, instead of ins and outs and tongue depressor balconies that you see on tons of multifamily buildings, the facade has 2 turns, right? One here, one here. That's all there is. And it's repetitive, it's redundant. That's the building. Ah, yeah. This is a 20% affordable unit housing development in Denver. Looks pretty good. I mean, who knows? We might have to get rid of a little bit more glass, but we're close. And the reason that we're close is because we kept materials simple, we kept the slab simple, and we kept it extremely modular. So it is a repetitive facade system. And those, community, lowering your operating costs, and quality design, are the keys for you to be able to create affordable housing. You must do these things. And if you just want to create great market rate housing, I also recommend you highly do that. Again, Ian Hunter, Associate Principal at TVS. Please let me know if you have any questions after today's meeting.